Hello and welcome to the 64 and Before show. My name is John. I'm here to talk about traditional hot rods, customs, people that go along with it, and the T word, traditional. Maybe a little bit of a dirty word to some of you guys, but I think it's necessary. It's the easiest way to categorize what we're doing here. And what it means here is 64-ish and earlier style hot rods and customs, the way the cars were built back in the day. There's definitely some gray areas, especially now. We can get into all that later, but just wanted to be talking about the T word right off the bat. So 64 and before kind of says it for itself, but that style of stuff is what this is supposed to be about. And the people, the cars, the stories hope to inspire some people that maybe thought about it or have never thought about it to get started in this stuff. So with that, let's move on to some questions you might be asking yourself, like, who am I and why am I doing this? So I am John. Like I said earlier, I'm a car guy first. I've been into cars my whole life. Grew up working on them. My dad owned a shop. It was like a used car shop and mechanic shop, but nonetheless, I've been working on them for my whole life, been around them. The old car thing was always a thing. Like, I've always liked history and old stuff, and my dad had this Model A under a tarp when I was a kid. We got that running. There's a whole story behind that. We can definitely dive deeper into that. But just so you know, I'm a car guy, been doing it for my whole life. As far as this stuff goes, I'm fairly new at the media stuff. Podcast thing, never done it before, but here we are. I had most of the hardware sitting around, so I figured, why not start something? And I want to do traditional hot rod stuff because that's what I like. And there's some cool guys out there doing the same stuff. There's some young guys out there doing the same stuff. And I want to share what everybody's doing through this podcast. This is also going to be a video podcast, so it'll be on YouTube. I'm hoping to distribute it through the audio channels also, so you can find it easily and listen to it on your way to work or whatever. But anyway, a little bit more about me. Like I said, I'm a sucker for history, a sucker for like themes and the whole like period correct aspect of traditional rodding and customizing. Really goes up my alley. So I like to have a little bit of a blueprint to stick to when I'm doing something. And that's all the way it for me. I also like doing things the hard way. And I would say definitely like traditional hot rodding is not the easiest way to hot rod. So there's that aspect of it too that appeals to me. One thing that I find funny about me and probably you is that as traditional hot rodders and customizers and enthusiasts, we are purists for a certain way people messed up original cars. And I love that. And those are words to live by for me. But I hope this gives you a little bit of a look inside my head when it comes to this stuff. I've also learned that I love the people as much as the cars, and getting to know some people over the past 10 years or so. I've really been hitting it hard in this last year with the traditional stuff, starting up Hard Luck Media and really focusing in because my time is a lot less available than it used to be. I'm a dad, I have a young kid. My wife and I both work full time, so like what you see here is all just like little pieces of time that I have that I just pour into this thing. So this is just another facet of that whole machine known as Hard Luck Media. I hope you're along for the ride on that stuff as well. But I think this is an easy way for me to contribute and share stories and document stuff that's going on in this world that doesn't require me leaving and going out of town. Like, I'm sitting in my basement recording with some equipment that I had lying around. So here we are. Hope you're along for the ride. The other thing is I wanted to not necessarily like exclude old people because they built this thing, but I want to like focus on the younger crowd and getting people in, and also like building a little bit of a community for people to go to and talk to and network with if you're looking for a part or whatever. So like come together and help keep this thing around, because a little bit selfishly, I'm doing this because I don't want to see it go away. And I hope you feel the same way. So that's kind of who I am, what I'm doing and why, and what the show is going to be about. Is I'm going to try to have guests on here. Some people you've heard of, some people you've probably never heard of. And most of it will probably be a remote interview. But I just want to get the stories out and get them documented and give you guys something interesting to listen to and something you can learn from. And like, I'm hoping that I learn as much as you. My thought is, I hope I'm the dumbest guy in the room on some of this stuff. I'm not an expert on anything. I'm good at a little bit of everything. So hoping you guys will teach me as much as you teach the people listening to this, so we can all grow and benefit from this. Anyways, that's a little, those are some big words. So let's keep going. Let's talk about what's coming up next. So I put out a post about, are you under 40 hot rodding? And the reach got way beyond my expectations, which is great because I think there will be as many listeners as contributors in that conversation. But this is a traditional show. There's definitely some things that have come across my attention that I want to share that are a little bit outside the lines, but I think this is the place to do that. So we're going to talk about some stuff, maybe not exactly traditional, but definitely like hot rod and young guys in history and things like that. So stay tuned for that stuff. I've got a bunch of people that filled out a form on my website. Thank you so much for doing that if that's one of you. If it's not and you're interested in coming on the show for a remote interview, go to hardluckmedia.com and click on 64 and before show, and it'll bring you to a page where you can fill out the Google form by clicking a button. And if you're not interested or not comfortable being interviewed on video and audio, there's another form you can fill out to start the process of, I can interview you and write an article about it, because I like to write too. So I figured I'm going to do as much as I can to have these like stories and stuff compiled in one area so people can find this stuff. So if that sounds like something you want to get into, getting on the show or get an article written about your experience, go to hardluckmedia.com, click 64 and before show, and fill out either one of those forms, whichever one you like. So I want to do kind of a background on myself as an upcoming episode, kind of a self-interview thing. And I definitely have some people lined up, under 40 guys that want to share their stories and cool stuff they're working on and stuff like that. So I'm really excited for that. Hopefully that inspires somebody, and maybe if not this very moment, this stuff's not going anywhere. So hopefully in the future. I'm going to wrap it up here. This is episode 0. Episode 1 will be more like a normal episode of the show, a little bit deeper content, but I wanted to get something out there so that you can follow it, subscribe to the channel, and be ready when the next one or ones pop out. I think I'm going to do like a couple or 2 or 3 episodes and then release them all at once, and then continue probably a bi-weekly thing. So every other week. That just gives me time to edit and do things in the background at the same time and run the rest of my media outlet. But so anyway, hit follow if you're listening, hit subscribe if you're watching on YouTube. Tell a buddy if you think they like this stuff. This is a different media format than I'm used to, but I think it has a little bit of a different hit and a different audience too. So tell a friend. Word of mouth is sometimes better than an algorithm. If you want to follow me and have your ear to the ground on what I'm doing and what's going on with this podcast specifically, follow at Hard Luck Media on Instagram, underscores between the words, and you will know as much as anyone else about what's happening now and what's next and what's in the works. That's all I got for you for episode 0. I'm John, and I guess I'll catch you next time on the 64 and Before show. See ya.